Hello there.
It's the BBP TV show since 2012, where amazing guests share their digital adventures. Who will we meet today? Small biz influencer, up-and-coming trendsetter, accomplished author? You never know who'll be dropping by. And now, here's your host, Elaine Lindsay, the bionic glamourpreneur with Truel Social Media, who's the second most curious person on the planet.
Hi. Great to see everybody. I am so thrilled to be here today. It is with great pleasure that I get to welcome my guest today, Tamara Burkett. Hi.
Hi, Lindsay. Elaine, that's your last name, Lindsay.
It's okay. It's okay, Burkett. People do it to me all the time. That's what you get for having two first names instead of a last name. I want to give you an idea of what we're going to talk about today, because I think it's something really, really not just interesting, but important in this time when we are more and more, all of us small entrepreneurs, going online. Everybody now has to set themselves up digitally so that they can function in this new normal. And with that in mind, I think Tamara is the exact person we should be talking to. She is first and foremost a #1 best-selling business author. We'll talk about her book absolutely in our show. She is coined as customer loyalty architect. And I have notes here. She will have you leverage technology and enhance relationships. She's a CRM consultant, a virtual meeting producer, and she works with service-based business owners, helping them to maximize their current CRM to get more sales. One thing I thought was really, really key when I was looking up all the information about you is Tamara believes business is all about relationships and technology should make relationship building easy. That's exactly how I feel. And that's part of why I thought this was going to be incredible. We seem to have a little issue on Facebook, so I'm just going to not okay. We are live on Facebook. Sorry. It seems that everybody, StreamYard, Zoom, everybody is having issues these days getting onto Facebook from their live streams. So I'm going to quickly re-go through. My lovely guest today is Tamara Burkett. She is #1 best-selling business author, customer loyalty architect who leverages technology to enhance relationships, as she is a CRM consultant, and we're going to talk to her a little bit more about how she believes business is all about relationships and technology should make that relationship building easy.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm very excited to have you. I think it's something that is so timely right now. A lot of people, okay, I'm going to turn it over to you in just a sec, because a lot of people aren't even sure what's really involved in a CRM. What is a CRM?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people come to me ask that question, what is a CRM? And so CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And today it's a software that you can purchase to help you with managing your business relationships, whether it be your prospects, your current customers, strategic partners, even vendors. It really does help you with your external communication.
Oh, that's a really good explanation for sure. And what do you feel in terms of entrepreneurs? Would you say that even solopreneurs, CRM is really important?
Oh, it's essential to business. Again, because it's about managing and organizing your external communication. And in today's world, we have our phones, we have text message, we have social media now. email, in person, and then we also have video conferencing. So you have all these different methods in how to reach out to people and communicate. And if you don't have a system to really like bring all of that together and centralize it, it can be quite a challenge to keep on top of who you're talking to, what type of conversations you've had, and all those type of components so you can move that conversation forward, whether it be to make a sale or whether it be to collaborate or even to purchase services.
Absolutely. And just to kind of put that all in perspective, for the baby boomers, let's say CRM way back when was that Rolodex.
Right.
It was where you kept those little notes on every single person you talked to, because building a relationship is always better when you actually know something about that person.
Exactly. Yeah, it was that Rolodex. It was the notebook you kept by the phone, right? And people refer to it as a database, right? And people still refer to it as a database because it does centralize all your contacts. But today's system is capable of doing much more than just housing contact information.
And that's exactly what I want us to kind of delve into, because I think more small business, particularly, would be better off if they understood all of what's involved in a CRM, what the possibilities are.
Exactly.
And that excites you, right?
Yeah, it does. It gets my go to talk about it because there's so many different, there are thousands, I should say, systems on the marketplace today. And there are different types of systems based on what challenges you have, based on really your industry, and so many different variables involved that it is important to have a real basic understanding of what CRMs are capable of so you can make a better and informed decision on which one is right for you.
Absolutely. So what's the breadth of the sorts of companies that you work with?
Sure. So I specialize in working with small business, small companies. And for who I work with, I also work with entrepreneurs and micro businesses. So that's somebody that is solo, or someone that has a team of 3, up to a team of 10 people, is who I work with. So I look at the size of the company in that regards. The revenue can be somewhere in the midst of like around the 6-figure mark up to 10 million.
Yeah. And that's really good. And it's nice to be able to put that out there, because I think it's the solopreneurs and those small businesses that have 3, 5 maybe employees, some that are part-time, that don't really understand, first of all, how much more efficient it would be if you use a CRM, and just how many things you can put together.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. A lot of people are still using like spreadsheets, or they're using their email accounts and like Google Sheets and different things to track their conversations and to monitor the different data that they get from the conversations and things of that nature. And a CRM can really automate a lot of the things that you are already doing, and it can pull in those emails and those phone calls and different things so you can see it all in one place. You don't have to go to all these different platforms or paperwork, or the file system to look up what's going on with that relationship in order to reach out and continue and grow that connection.
And they can be proactive as well, correct?
Yeah, you can be proactive. So there are 3 different types of CRM systems out there. One is focused on marketing automation. So if you ever hear about drip campaigns and email marketing and all that good stuff and offering freebies, there's a system, there's a CRM system that specializes in that. And then you have those CRMs that focus primarily on the sales process. So your pipeline, right? Keeping track of your activities and being able to draw conclusions of what activities are more effective for you, which ones aren't working, understanding what stage someone is in your sales process. So things like that, leads, qualifying leads, all that good stuff. There are CRMs that specialize in that. And then there are CRMs that specialize in the customer support, customer service type of activities. So if you have a call center, sometimes you'll be able to script. There's a lot of functionality around making phone calls, auto dialing and things of that nature. So it depends on, really what are your key issues that you need to resolve? What are some areas that you want to automate in your business so that it can be it can be easy for you to keep the relationship going, and it can be an effortless experience for your customer or the person that you are speaking.
Yeah, I think that's a really big point because it's all about them.
Right.
It's not about us. So making their journey easy and kind of flawless is the whole point, isn't it?
Right. And that's the new mindset. When we think about today's age and the economy that we're in, there's a lot of talk about customer experience, creating a remarkable customer journey and things like that, which truly is the reason CRMs are so essential today and much more prevalent than what they were, 10, 20 years ago, because now it's really a customer's market. It's a buyer's market. It's, you come out, you have all these different options. So depending on the experience they have with you will greatly determine whether or not they'll do business with you.
Absolutely, and that makes perfect sense. So in terms of you said sales or drip campaigns or what have you, what if you need both?
Right. So, the bulk of the CRM systems out there will have some features that appeal to all three or just two. But when I say specialized, I'm really referring to what they're known for. So you'll have a system that's known for their sales process. That's what they're really good at. That's what they're focused in on. But they'll also have some marketing automation features for you too. They may not specialize in it. It'll be kind of like average type of functionality. But yeah, they'll include some of those functions.
And what would you consider is like I guess lower level, but an entry level, if you will, CRM for a small as in 3 or less people business? What would you suggest would be a good CRM?
Yeah. So, I get that question quite often. People want to know, just tell me the CRM that I can use. And, I truly believe that it's one is a personal preference, and it truly should be individualized. What CRM will work for you is one that'll help you crush your sales goals, that'll really help make things easier. And for some people, that may mean that, especially if you're an entrepreneur, that may mean that you're looking for something that can automate your reminders, right? So you don't even have to think about it. It'll just pop up on your phone or in your email in terms of who you need to follow up with. And you don't have to manually enter that. So it really does depend on what issues that you have. But I will say that when it comes to people who are starting out and they just need something to help them with managing their contact, they should look for something simple where it's about segmenting or tagging people, right? So you're able to categorize people and find them quickly. Another feature that is extremely important for people who are starting out is the ability to read the history of communications. So you can go to someone's profile, or you can look up a list of people, you tap on their profile, and you'll see a list of all the interactions and conversations that you had with them.
Oh, that's really good.
Right. So those are like one of the main two features that you should really look for, because for people starting out, it's really about managing your contact list and having quick and easy access to that information no matter where you are. So if you're in the field, you need contact on your phone. So something that you can either have an app on your phone, or you can easily just go online on your phone and be able to access your software. So those are really what you should look for. And if they don't have that capability, don't even look further into that software. Like, make sure you have those essential features so you can quickly sift through all the CRMs that are out there.
Okay. And that's a really good point. And that's really why I asked, because I knew there wasn't going to be one, but I knew that you'd have some really good nuggets of things that are critical no matter how small you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Some features are just standard essential features no matter who you are or what kind of business you have. And, that can be customer support. What kind of support do you need from your software? Do you need to talk to people on the phone, or can you get by with videos and just a knowledge base, right?
Right.
I'm the type that I need to call somebody on the phone. If I have an issue, I need to talk to somebody. So if they don't have that feature in a CRM, then I don't even look at the feature. I don't let the features kind of like seduce me into just making an exception. Right? I don't let it get
absolutely. No, and that's a really good point. I think it's really critical that you understand sort of what your line is, what you won't do without.
Right.
Even for people that come from old systems, you're probably going to laugh, but in the late 90s, I worked with a couple of companies, and they were using Maximizer. And one of them was using, I think, Access. And, forerunners to what we're doing with now.
Yeah.
But when I think how unwieldy they were, and transferring things that were on spreadsheets and on actual paper, even back then, there's an awful lot to consider. And that seems to me, you've put in all this time and all this effort to understand what the requirements are and what you really need as far as basics are concerned. So now let's get into, how did you get to be this CRM person?
Yeah. It was born out of necessity. When I started my consulting practice, it was focused on customer retention and customer loyalty. So I would co-create these beautiful plans with my clients, and I began to realize that it became a challenge for my clients to fully execute our plans. And it was because they didn't have the right tool. A lot of us business owners, we're working in our business. And so we don't have a lot of time to spend when it comes to the administrative task of our business. Right? So yes, we value talking to people, having conversations, and building relationships. But what isn't a huge value is the time it takes to manually enter that data. What isn't a huge value is really configuring what the dashboard should look like so we can access the information quickly and things of that nature, and creating the reminders. So those are the smaller things that take more of our time that, we don't have that time, because it's not it's not directly linked to us increasing sales or having revenue, right? And the old databases, like back in the day, was truly designed with people having like an assistant or a secretary that can enter information. And we don't have that today. You know, people have VAs, but you know, if you're starting out or whatever the case may be, if you don't even have the process, a formal process in doing that, you know, it's incredibly difficult to hire someone to do something that you don't have a process for, that you don't already have a structure for.
Yeah, that is such a good point. Yeah. And I find, you know, in different networking groups and different places, when you talk to startups and you know, solopreneurs that are kind of in the first throes of putting it together, very often that is the most challenging piece, not understanding or not having any kind of process.
Exactly. So, you know, looking at those pieces, it's if you have a great tool that makes your job easier and you can go faster, it opens up your time so you can build your capacity. You can onboard more people, you can talk to more people, and you'll be able to manage those relationships. And, you know, most of all, I even talk about in terms of this, it's your brand. It's how you're showing up. And if you have a tool that can help you show up in an authentic and genuine way, where you're not rushing or sifting through trying to find like the last information of the last communication, I mean, it just makes things more authentic and easier, right? And you can build that connection quicker. So it's really that machine or that tool that helps you show up better and present yourself in the way that you want to be presented, you know?
Absolutely. And because I believe in being transparent, I will say that for the show, it took me a really long time to realize that, okay, it's just like the other pieces of business. Yes, it's a show, and yes, I'm inviting guests, but there still have to be processes in place in order for things to run smoothly.
Exactly. It's really building that structure, building that foundation so that you can grow and scale your business into an empire, into whatever it is that you dream of it being.
Yeah. And one of the things that I know others find very challenging, I'm an early adopter, so tell me there's new video software, tell me there's new anything, and I will go try it because it's who I am.
Yeah.
But for the average person, that can be really terrifying. You've just got settled in a process, you're doing something that you think is working, and everything changes. You have to go to something else.
Right.
Which I think having that CRM that sort of encompasses everything else, the wheels fall off in one area, it's not quite as traumatizing for a small business.
Well, yeah, so I'm totally honest. When it comes to technology can be terrifying for people who are not early adapters, right? Because there's a learning curve to it. And a lot of times it's very rigid. So in terms of the things that you want to see in how you operate, how your brain processes information, there can be a gap between that and what the system allows you to do, right? And so even that is something to take into consideration when looking through CRMs. When I transitioned to CRMs and focused on that, you know, it was interesting. It was a challenge for me at first because I see myself as relationship focused. I'm not a tech person. My background isn't in tech. It's in systems management. It's in that relationship building. But I didn't, you know, I don't have an IT background, right? But I understand the vision. I understand what I needed to do for me and what my clients needed to do for them, and how it needs to be easy, where I don't want to put more things to do on my plate or on my client's plate. and a lot of CRMs do that, where again, you have to manually enter the information. You have to, reconfigure everything to your needs. And that can be overwhelming, right? And
Yeah.
so it really is about simplicity. It really is about really just boiling everything down and understand what are those key features that will move your business forward and how it can grow with you.
I'll see that is such a good point. And because of what you just said, an awful lot of CRMs have you jumping through so many hoops, and a lot of times I know that people have come saying, well, I was trying to onboard with this company, and it just seemed like one thing after another, and it was going to take me 6 months to get everything in place. That doesn't work for small business. What are they supposed to do for 6 months?
Exactly.
We've all seen exactly what happens when we all get put on hold for 6 months.
Right. Like as a small business owner, you don't have 6 months to wait until something up in operation.
No.
Like huge enterprises, right? A lot of people are looking for a software they can hit the ground running with, right?
Yeah.
Or something that has a small learning curve that you can navigate your way through for the basic stuff. And then for the other, like more complicated things, like you have time to learn that. And just even building that habit, I find, there are some clients that I coach through the process where I'm helping them to build the habit of using their system and identifying the process they're using to onboard and to convert clients, and making sure that their system reflects that process. So now it doesn't make sense to not use it, right?
Absolutely. No, that's a really, really good point. Yeah, because it is, we have to navigate so many different avenues these days, no matter who you are, whether you're a CEO of a giant corporation or you're a little solopreneur who started last week. We all now have taken on roles where we have to wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah, absolutely. And, having a tool that can help you, just makes it so much easier. And, just think about chefs, for instance, a master chef have like 3 Michelin awards or whatnot. They are very serious about their kitchen equipment. They use the best knives because they understand a high quality sharp knife will make chopping the foundation of their cooking that much quicker and easier to do, right? So it increases their productivity. And it's the same with CRM systems. If you're building relationships, you need one that will operate quickly and easily for you so you can access the information you need.
That's such a good point. And to spin it around and basically say, like the chef's knives, okay, like the designer's sewing machines and fabric, the CRM should be the foundation of your small business.
Right.
It's not an afterthought.
Right. Well, there are some experts who believe that, you should wait until your business reach a certain stage or a certain revenue point and things like that. And that may have been true, again, 10, 20 years ago when CRMs were expensive. Only the big corporations used them because they were so bulky, and, you had to have your own server because it was on premise. Now things just is so much more affordable and accessible because instead of it being on premise now, you don't have to have it that way. Now it can be in a cloud, so you can access it anywhere, right? Yeah. Now it can be attached to your email. So either you can use your email or you can email people straight through the system. And again, it's more affordable. So when should you have one? When should you invest in one? As soon as you can, if you're starting a business, because they have free CRMs out there. They have CRMs that are under $20 a month. So if it's not affordable for you, then maybe it's about reallocating, some funds in your budget. But it's affordable now.
Yeah, it's made a big difference, and I'm a firm believer in starting how you plan to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put things in place and go forward, it's like all good habits. You have to practice them. You have to practice them. So for me, I think it makes sense when you're early on in the business, before you have so many clients that it becomes unwieldy to onboard. I think it makes the most sense to start when you start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about building good habits, right? And if
Yeah,
the sooner
yeah,
you start, the sooner you build those good habits.
yeah.
So as you get in more clients or more leads, it's a much smoother process in terms of building out your process, your sales process, or things of that nature. So it's definitely worth investing in early on.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to change any bad habits because
Yeah.
that takes much longer.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've covered CRMs, we've covered how you got there. Let's
Mhm.
talk about your book.
Okay, sure. So I'm a co-author for it's a business book and it's actually part of a series
Yeah.
it's called Breakthrough Brilliant Breakthroughs for the Small Business Owner. And here it is. Let me see.
Excellent. Excellent.
And I wrote a chapter again on CRMs called Crack
Hmm.
the Code. And so I share with readers really what CRMs are, the history of it, what it can do for your business, all the basic foundational information you need. So, when you do start the search, um, you're you're able to really plan that out and understand what you're looking for. So again, the selection process, you can speed that up and have a much better chance of finding the right CRM for you than just go out there and do a Google search of the top 10 and just pick the popular one. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And your book is available where?
The book is available on Amazon. So you can go onto Amazon and you can type in the title, or you can go and type in my name as an author and it should pop up. And it's also available through my website. If you were to go to my website, there's a link that'll take you there.
And we will have the link to Tamara's website. We also will have the link to her book on her page on the BBP TV show. We always like to do that for our guests, make it easy for people to connect. You take your clients, I
Mhm.
guess, on a journey to the best CRM for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one, finding the right CRM is truly half the battle, right?
Yeah.
Um, And once you find your CRM, then it's about how do you customize it so that, again, you're more likely to use it. When I made that pivot to CRM system and I was researching it, I found that out of all the companies who invest in a CRM system, like 70% of those companies have an implementation failure rate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's high.
yeah. And then from there, yeah, and then from there, them truly their staff adapting the system, out of the 30% who make it past that, the adoption rate for their employees is like at 40%. So
Wow.
there's this history, right? There's this long-standing history of, yeah, we understand the value of what CRMs can do, but in terms of people realizing that ROI, that the results, it's very few people who see that. So understanding, not only making sure that you buy the right CRM, but that you also take the time to understand how are you going to implement this in your business, and then train people and help them build the habits so that they are truly using the system. And so I take them, on that journey, whether you're in that journey of, I need a CRM and I just need help walking through this, I'll take you through that whole process. If you have a CRM and you don't know whether or not it's worth keeping, we can do an audit, sit down and figure that piece out. And if you have all of that, but your staff just aren't using it and adapting it, then that means, well, it's really about them understanding the value, what the goals are of the company, and then training them in how they can leverage that system so they can meet their performance goals, right? So it really does depend on where you are in your CRM journey.
Oh, I love that. And Tamara is absolutely the person that can help you, excuse me, with your CRM choice and implementing that CRM, because it's like everything else out there. How many programs have people bought and then gave up because they just couldn't get it started, they couldn't get the implementation right, and they didn't build a habit. Mm-hmm. So I think those three pieces are all kind of key. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And on that note, I realize time goes so fast when I get to talk to very interesting people. I wanted to know, what is one thing, I always ask my guests to leave our audience with one thing that you do, either personal or business, a little hack, a little tweak that you use kind of daily that would be advantageous for our audience.
Sure. So for people who do have a CRM or a system similar to that, what I like to do with my CRM is that when I'm out in the field, I like to use my phone CRM app, and I like to use the talk to text feature to create my notes. So that is a huge hack that has saved me tons of time, that I would, suggest to any and everybody to use that, try it out, see if it works for you.
Oh, that is so good. And yeah, I hope the audience uses it too, but that is so good because I am the world's worst typist. So anything, didn't even think of, if I can talk to text, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. Everything. It's a lifesaver. It's been a lifesaver for me. So yeah, definitely try it out.
Oh, absolutely. That's going right on the list of what I have to learn today. Oh my God, that is so awesome. Tamara, thank you so much. Lots and lots of value here today. If you are thinking about getting a CRM, if you just got one, don't know what to do with it, or if you have one for a while and you want to be sure that all your staff are managing well, you can connect with Tamara Burkett at her website, tamaraburkett.com, or you can connect with her on the BBP TV show, where you watch the show every month. On that note, I will say thank you ever so much, Tamara. This has been wonderful. I look forward to talking with you again and getting a little better involved in my CRM.
Oh, great. I love hearing that.
Yeah. I'm Elaine Lindsay with BBP TV show and True Social Media. Make the very best of your today, every day, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Brought to you by BBP TV show and True Social, helping small biz navigate the digital world.
I hope that was good. There was so much